this afternoon. My name is Scott Hasbrouck. I'm the CTO of Spacecoin. I want to get straight to the point because we have something exciting and transformative to discuss. Today, we introduce you to Spacecoin. So many of us here in this room take internet access for granted. You've likely already checked your email, posted updates to X, Facebook, LinkedIn. You've checked in with your loved ones. You've sent them selfies, photos of your cool food you're eating in Singapore. The fact is, our business and personal lives are intertwined online, and it makes it feel like we've always had this privilege. The freedom to communicate, share, and innovate is fundamental to who we are. In fact, as a species, it's the development of language that has allowed us to transport the thoughts in our minds across time from one generation to the next. It's language and the sharing of ideas that took us from the Industrial Revolution to landing on the moon in just a few generations. However, there's a massive global divide in connectivity. 2.9 billion people have no internet access today. That is billion with a B. In context, just to put that in scale, that's the whole of the United States, plus all of Europe, plus all of India, plus all of South America, and then some. All of those nations and continents without internet access. It's not about speed or convenience. It's about having zero access to the modern world. The cost in the infrastructure is simply too high in rural emerging markets. On top of this, another 3 billion with a B have restricted and censored internet access due to government control. The primary barrier for rural emerging markets is the high cost of infrastructure. Spacecoin aims to address these two global challenges: access and censorship. Now, all of us here at a cryptocurrency conference, self-described, self-admittedly, are concerned about sovereignty and individual rights. They should be our core concepts. This is, in fact, one of the core tenet promises of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technologies is sovereignty. But many of us feel as though we haven't fully delivered on that promise yet. Let's talk about how we intend to do this just a bit. On the technology side, Spacecoin is building a decentralized global infrastructure of 5G internet access for everyone, everywhere, by combining two technologies: low Earth orbit satellites and blockchain. Here's how it works. 5G ground stations distributed across different nations and continents act as gateways to the global public internet. These stations, in turn, connect directly to Spacecoin satellites orbiting the Earth in low Earth orbit. They're about 500 kilometers above our heads. By orbiting low and by being cheap, the satellites can ensure low latency and high speed that's not just performant, but affordable. The satellites, actually, we've spent 2 years developing this in secrecy before we launched to you all in the last few weeks. They're the size of a microwave oven. And the cost is comparable to, say, a high-end sports car. Something that makes sense given the F1 is this weekend. Put this into comparison where just a few years ago, the satellites weren't the cost of a car, but the size of a car, and the costs were hundreds of millions. So we've capitalized on this very recent nascent change in the economics and technology in aerospace technology. These Spacecoin satellites, in turn, provide 5G coverage direct to the devices on the ground, including just like the 5G devices in your pockets and hands as you sit in the audience. What's made this possible is we've been clued into some new technology that has gone into Samsung and Apple devices. The newest Qualcomm chipsets that are released in the Galaxy S24 and the iPhone 16 that just was released a few weeks ago now support the open standard of direct-to-device satellite internet we are building our blockchain and our network on, called 5G NTN. Therefore, the world's 2 largest device manufacturers will support Spacecoin's network out of the gate. No additional hardware for the end user, or no new phones needed. This means in just a few years, they'll be in every device. There'll be used devices that are affordable for all people on Earth that will support our network out of the gate. In turn, our satellites essentially create virtual cell phone towers, arrays of them, broadcast. Just one satellite can do this, creating 5G coverage zones to areas that are with traditional terrestrial infrastructure, we just can't reach economically. Each one of these satellites, again, the size of a microwave oven, can cover vast areas, entire regions, entire nations, where ground-based infrastructure is just impossible or too cost-prohibitive. In the end, what this creates is global connectivity in areas without ground-based cell phone towers and fiber optic infrastructure that the internet we all use today is built upon, whether that be submarine or subterranean infrastructure. All these other areas would be typically cut off from the internet. But with our satellite constellation, everyone's 5G device can connect directly to the nearest satellite, providing global internet access no matter where you are. So we're putting satellites in space, and this is not just theoretical. In fact, our first satellite, CTC-0, launches in just a few months this December. It's built right now. I just checked in on it earlier today. So we're putting these into space, and we're bringing internet access to the underserved populations, billions of the underserved, who lack reliable infrastructure. And essentially, we're restoring power to the people, making the sovereign individual sovereign again. Why does this matter? To go a bit deeper into that, the fiber optic vulnerability, attack point essentially, there's centralized infrastructure that all of our wireless technology, every wireless device you connect to, is essentially dependent on. Fiber optic cables are vulnerable. Many of the submarine cables we rely on are aging. They can also be victims of sabotage and military and government attacks. In the end, these disruptions can cut off entire regions from internet access. Furthermore, centralized providers, if you have a centralized ISP, terrestrial and satellite internet providers alike can be influenced, controlled, or even shut down by their governments, leaving people without the information they need, especially during the critical moments when they need it the most. So our team consists of space nerds, rocket scientists, 5G specialists, blockchain experts. I'm the CTO, and I've spent my entire career obsessed with space and airplanes, and I've recently been building autonomous space mission systems and technology for the likes of NASA and the US Space Force. Our advisors are just as high caliber. We have General Wesley Clark, the former Supreme Commander of European NATO forces, guiding and forging our governmental partnerships and ensuring that our networks integrate with the right companies and global infrastructure. On the device side, and the 5G side, we have Dr. Yongki Kim, former president of Samsung's wireless 5G division, who's guiding our work with device manufacturers, ensuring compatibility with leading smartphones and all the device manufacturers that matter, and advancing our direct-to-device satellite technology. We're not just engineers. We're not just entrepreneurs. We're pioneers. We're building the decentralized internet of the future, and we're doing it in space. With Spacecoin, no government can block your access to the internet, no company can throttle your speed, and no one can stop you from connecting to the global economy. If you're interested in being a part of this mission, whether as a satellite owner, an operator, a ground station operator, a telecom partner, or an investor, come visit our booth. It's right over there around the corner, here at TOKEN2049 today and tomorrow, or visit us at spacecoin.org. Together, we can create a future where the internet is free and open for everyone on Earth, no matter where they are. I'll see you all in the void. Thank you for coming.